So
Yeah.
how the hell did you get into this? How do you become an audition specialist? And how long have you been doing that?
Well, I guess the answer to the question is I have to start at the beginning, watching actors that I admired not be able to audition very well. So they asked me to help them with their auditions, and it grew from there. Right. And I've been struggling ever since to find the keys to auditioning, especially for camera. And I think I've found it.
So how does Sherlock Holmesing, that's kind of part of your foundation, so how does that come into play of creating your formula or technique or how you teach? Talk a little bit about that.
What I discovered is that the camera sees knowledge; it doesn't see acting. Actions are for the stage. Most of us were trained for the stage, so that's actions for the stage, not for the camera and close-up, especially. And that's what an audition is. An audition camera is a close-up, and what the close-up sees is the actor's eyes. So on the stage, you don't see the actor's eyes; you see their actions. On the camera, you see not the actions, but the actor's eyes. And in the eyes is knowledge.
Right.
Well, how do you gain knowledge in a very quick time when you don't have much time to? There's no rehearsal. As for the stage, there is rehearsal. So. To be a good actor, you have to be a damn good detective, and you've got to do it very, very quickly. So I invented this process just through the process of elimination over the past, decade or so, of how do I read a script and suck up all the knowledge that I need to have so the camera can see it in my close-up. And the only person I really have to justify my work to, which is what I stress for all actors, is justified to the character. The reason through me the character grows. So it's me, as Bob Duvall says, bent just a little bit. But I have to be it. And the only way to do that is to suck up all the knowledge very quickly for camera. In the theater, you have rehearsal time, which is lovely. Film and television, almost never. So that's the Sherlock Holmesing.
Right, just kind of using the tenets of Sherlock Holmes to kind of unearth the script.
Yeah, curiosity. I mean, the reason to download your script these days, my day we had to actually go pick up the scripts. Download the script is to be curious about who I get a chance to be, which is a Bob Duvall quote that I often quote. Curiosity, intuition carries you through the reading of the script, and then deductive reasoning, you put it all together to solve the crime, in a sense. And then you have the knowledge, and that's what the camera sees.
Right.
And then the actor's job is to create the reality of everything we, meaning the audience, don't see. And emotion creates reality, so you have to know how you feel about every object that's dealt with in the scene, in the audition scene. Then we believe you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in your book, you talk about the value and the importance of that first moment.
Oh, boy. Casting directors told me over the years that actors lose the audition in the first 10 or 12 seconds, and I think that's a crime, frankly. So I work very hard with my people to get that first moment, because if you can grab them, then you've got them. And through working the scene, then we see what things mean to you. And what you're hearing, you have to know what it is that you're hearing, what you're saying, and what it means to you. So you have to have an emotion associated with all persons, places, things, and events. That's in this text, yeah.
Kind of stacking the deck in terms of you're using the Sherlock Holmes as to unearth all the material.
Well,
then you're kind of using your emotion. You said emotion creates reality.
Yeah.
So you're having emotions that are creating the reality of who you are, where you are, who this person is.
All that. But the writer is the guide. The only person that you have to help you for an audition, unless you come to an audition coach like myself, is the writer. You don't have a director, you don't have fellow actors, you have a reader that's not supposed to give you very much. But you have to endow the reader, you have to endow all the persons, places, things, and events in the text with a reality, so you appear to know what you're talking about. And emotion does create reality. The writer is suggesting an emotion about a person, place, thing, or event, and your job is to make that real. We human beings remember our history, if you will, in pictures. We also have a future that we imagine in pictures. When we become actors, suddenly we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to remember words. Do you follow? We're supposed to remember words. Let's do the pictures first, then the words become easy.
So you talk about a lot about object of your behavior. What is that?
All acting is too foreign off of an object of your behavior, and that object has to be endowed with a reality that contains the emotion, or it's not real.
And that's
simple.
encapsulated right out of the gate.
Absolutely. If I don't know who I'm talking to, one of the lines in my book, it was going to be a chapter title, and we decided against it. But one of the things that I say in my book is, you don't have to act if you know who the bitch is. and that's literally true. If I know who I'm talking to, then a reality is formed. But if it's a reader, I have to endow it with a reality. I don't have the luxury of a fellow actor, if you will.
Well, switching over to your classes, what's different about your class as per se a traditional scene study or an acting class?
I think scene study is very valuable, but scene study doesn't necessarily get you work. This is the practical side. It's after scene study, after all of those wonderful technique teachers and all of that lovely stuff that we've all had. Now we have to get a job. It's a whole different world, the audition world from the scene study world. And if you don't know how to live in the audition world, where's that scene study stuff going to go?
And on camera is a component of that. Is that correct?
On camera, that's how we get work for film and television. I mean, it's literally seen on camera. So I have to know how to do that in terms of the audition process.
Awesome. And what's the basic structure of the class? How does it work when people come to class?
Well, people have asked me, why am I different from other teachers? And I don't like to talk about other teachers. I think that all teachers have their value. But what I struggle with and what I concentrate on is I teach the actor. I don't teach my method to everybody the same way. I have to sculpt you in a sense, and I have to work with you to discover what works for you throughout the process of the class. So I teach basically individuals in a classroom setting.
Well, in all the different ways in which the people can kind of better understand of you and how you work. Do you have a CD, MP3, you have a DVD?
Yeah, I went retail.
and a book?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do those differ and how are those tools used?
Well, I get great feedback these days. The book has been out for about a year, and I've gotten great feedback they carry it around. Some of them call it the Bible. It's a very practical approach on how to do it. That's supplemented by my classes. And I want them to be able to refer to something without calling me every 5 minutes.
Right.
And then they begin to teach themselves, which is the only way really that you own this, is that it becomes you. And that's part of my teaching, is how can I have what I teach you, how can I make sure that it belongs to you and it's not just me forming you.
And how does the DVD fit into that? What is the DVD of?
Well, you get to watch me do my thing for 3 hours and 47 minutes.
Which is the Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes, breaking
lecture.
the script down, relationships, all of that. You get the practical approach. You see it literally in a nice little theater in Santa Monica.
Right. And so the title of the book is Audition for Your Career.
Not the Job.
Not the Job.
Right.
What does that mean to you?
Well, because the reason to go to the audition is to become that person. Look who I get a chance to be. That you can do. That's active. That's a process. To go to the audition because I need a job is not a process. It's in fact impossible to do. It's a need, of course, but you have to need to be the character first in the audition. Then you might get lucky and get a job.
So when you're auditioning for your career, you may not get that job, but the work that you do.
When you walk out of that room, they have to know that an actor walked out of that room. Good, bad, or indifferent in terms of how you did the audition for this character. You might be too fat, too short, too tall, too black, too white, whatever. Do you understand? But they have to know that there goes an actor. According to casting directors, 90% of the actors that come to an audition are ill-prepared, and I think that's a crime.
So recently you saw the performance of Daniel Day-Lewis in Abraham Lincoln. How does a performance like that shape you as a teacher in terms of what you're trying to teach and evoke in actors?
I think it goes back to the only person that you have to justify your work to is your character. You have to honor that character, even the bad guys. You have to honor them, because even in the bad guys, that's where the lesson is. But to walk in someone else's shoes and have the honor of doing that, of walking in someone's shoes, especially someone like Abraham Lincoln, my God, what an honor that is. as opposed to climbing the mountain. The detail that he brought to that character was magnificent. And it's really why I've been teaching for over 3 decades, is that I love to watch the actor, individual actor, grow into himself as an independent contractor, basically. That you are not dependent on anyone other than yourself to create the role, and going into an audition and dealing moment to moment with that object, even if it's just a reader and they're not giving you much, as they're supposed to not do, and they're not supposed to give you very much. Even there, it's you bring them. Robert Duvall talks about it as capturing the other actor, capturing the other character, and bringing them into your world. It's beautiful to watch.
Anything else you want to say?
Oh man, there's so much more.
I know. There's only so much to say, so little time.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
It's clear that you have passion and love what you do. And
well, I better. I've been doing it for a long time, and it just keeps getting better. It's like a good wine. Over the years, I've watched actors grow based upon things that they were guinea pigs, some of them. I thought, maybe this will work. Maybe this will help them get the job. Maybe this will help them understand how to craft. Even in the theater, people are using my stuff for the theater these days. But watching each individual, it's like a garden. I don't want to be corny,
right.
But it's like a garden. It's watching that individual
Growth
plant
process.
grow.
Right.
And it just, in a sense, it's giving birth. When I had my daughters, I cried, and I cry a lot with the success of all of my actors. And that's just how I'm going to do it from now until it's over.
Cool.
So, nice to be with you.
Nice to be with you. Thank you.
You bet.
All right.
Bye-bye.